Hi, hello, good afternoon. Move this guy out of the way. Today is, what is today? Tuesday. It's my last day of Splendid Spoon. Actually, yesterday was supposed to be the last day, but I skipped. I didn't have it for lunch yesterday. So I have one soup and one smoothie left, and one thing about Splendid Spoon that I've noticed is like I'll usually eat it consecutively. Like I'll defrost it all at once and just eat it all 5 days in a row. And by like the 5th day or like the last day, I want to bite something. Like it's all soups and noodles and grain bowls, and I want to like bite into a sandwich. I didn't make the connection right away that that's why I was craving this sandwich, but I wanted the TTLA from Whole Foods. I haven't had one in a long time. When they first like came out, I was probably having one like once a week or something. So I don't know. I'm taking a quick lunch break. I realize this is like a very messy sandwich, maybe not the best to eat while talking. It's literally falling apart. I was also thinking back to like this time last year. I remember I decided I was going to once a week go to a new vegan restaurant and make a video about it. I don't remember how many I got through. I want to say it was like 15 or something like that. I think the first few weeks I stayed on top of it like every week, and then after that it kind of was more sporadic. And my thinking was that I wanted to share some restaurants that I already liked and try some new restaurants and support local vegan businesses like during a pandemic. But then I realized that I was also a local business during a pandemic and I didn't have any money. I couldn't be eating takeout every week. What was I thinking? I like coming to this parking lot to make videos because this parking lot's totally unnecessary. It's like right next to the movie theater. It's like overflow parking for the movie theater. But like nobody goes to the movie theater anymore, like even like pre-pandemic. So the parking lot never really gets used anymore. I remember back in my day, back when I was a teenager, we would always have to park over here because like the theater would be busy. It's not anymore. The downside is though, it's also right next to the airport, so occasionally a plane will fly over and I just have to quietly snarf my food because I don't want you to hear like the planes in the background, which is probably good because I don't want you to hear my chewing noises either. But something else I realized, another reason that the weekly car food vlogs weren't really going to work out was because like right around now we're getting to the time of year where it's like too hot to make too many car videos unless I'm driving and the AC is on. But like park car videos, unless I have like the windows rolled down, which technically I could. There's somebody like way over there. I tend to assume that if anyone like notices me in here talking, they just maybe assume that I'm on FaceTime instead of just talking to myself. The sandwich is really freaking good, by the way. There's also a veggie grill in this complex, and I thought about going to Veggie Grill, but honestly, this sandwich is better than anything Veggie Grill has. I also realized, so I mentioned that I used to get this pretty frequently, and I stopped, and I thought maybe I just got burnt out on it, or maybe, you know, whatever, but I realized, I think one of the reasons I heard about it in the first place was from Tabitha Brown, who posted about it. I think she posted like a video of herself talking about how great it is, and she said that you had to order it with a pickle. So I ordered it with the pickle. I don't know, I said that weird, not just a pickle, but pickles, get pickles on the sandwich. So I was ordering it that way and everything was fine for a while, and then one day they decided they wanted to charge extra for extra toppings. And I want to say it was like $1.50 extra add pickles, so I was like, F that. The pickles make the sandwich. I'm not going to pay $1 extra though for pickles. So it seems like eventually they did stop doing that, which seemed like a smart move. So today's not a super busy work day. I only have 2 more clients left to see, one right after this and then one a little bit later. I didn't do any Victoria Stilwell classes yesterday. I'm going to do something today. The module that I'm on currently, I think it's going to be a lot of work. The module is on like training tools and techniques. So for each technique that I learn, I have to do a video assessment. So I have to like film, whether it's with Bruce or another dog, film myself using the specific technique to teach them something. And I think there's like specific, I have to use that technique, but there are a few different behaviors that I can teach. So I think it's going to be a little stressful, because the thing about different teaching techniques is sometimes the technique, like you want to pick the technique based on the behavior you're trying to teach, but also sometimes you have to choose the technique that works best for that specific dog. So if it seems like, you know, I take a certain approach and it's just not clicking for that dog, I might move to a different technique. Obviously for this, where I have to choose the technique, like there may be something that I'm trying to teach Bruce and I'm like, he's just not getting it. And like, if I were as a working trainer, working with a client, I would choose a different approach. So I'm not just going to keep forcing something if it's not working. So I think the current module that I'm on is going to take probably, like, I've been finishing like 1 to 2 modules a week, and I think this module is probably going to take 2 weeks. If I really stick to it, then I have another module that is pretty easy. I think I can finish in like 2 days. The module after that looks like it's also going to be kind of intense, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. So we're getting into the hard part. I just finished my first trimester. I think the second and third trimester are going to be a little more complicated, although the third trimester I know includes stuff about like the business side of training, so I don't think there's going to be like maybe there will be assessments, like written type things, but not, you know, video of teaching your dog stuff. Other than that, I'm trying to talk fast because I want to turn on the AC and eat the other half of my sandwich, but other than that, today I went to the dentist. I finally got, I don't know if you have noticed it or if I have pointed it out on YouTube, but I had a chip on my tooth, and it was pretty small. Like, it was so small that when I went for my cleaning last week and I pointed it out, they took a picture of it and they put it up on the screen and they were like, can you show me where it is? And I'm like looking, because I'm like trying to process, like make sure I'm looking at the right tooth. It wasn't very noticeable. I mean, it was there and it was noticeable, but it wasn't like super obvious. And like looking at my pictures on Instagram, like you can kind of see it like in pictures when I'm smiling. And it's not something that's like a big deal. Like, I feel like if it was anyone else, like I would not notice or care. But I think for me, I don't know, I didn't mention this at all either, but like a dog chipped my tooth. It was a happy, excited dog that was excited to see me, and he jumped up and he knocked me in the face. And like, I was totally fine, like it didn't hurt or anything, but there was like a little white little freckle on the bottom of my tooth for probably a couple months. It was just like slightly white. And eventually it seemed like it faded. And I thought maybe I was good, maybe, you know, nothing bad would happen. But then one day, I think it was like in December, it was right around one of the times that I went to Disneyland, and I remember thinking, like, did it knock off in one of the rides or something, or did I bite something? I don't know. But I noticed it actually had chipped, so that's been on my list of things to get it, not only get my teeth clean, but then to get the chip fixed. So she fixed it, and I'm pretty happy about it. But that is one of the reasons, like, while I'm restructuring my business to include training, I'm also like in a weird position where I want to have pet sitting and dog walking clients who are on board with training. Whereas before it was like, if I like the client, if I like the dog, like that was pretty much my criteria. Like, as long as I wanted to work with them, like that's fine. But now, how do I want to say this? Like, if a dog seems like they could chip my tooth, then we need to do some training before I take them on as a client. And part of that is like for myself, but also thinking ahead to like employees. Like, I don't want any employees getting any kind of like injury, even if it's like totally accidental, even if, like in this case, the dog was happy, friendly, and I love the dog and I love the client, and like no hard feelings, but like, you know, I don't want my employees to get their teeth knocked out. And not just that, but like I've had like clothing ripped at work. Like, I try to wear clothes that I don't care about generally to work, but occasionally like it'll happen that I'm just, you know, I only have one client today, so I'm gonna wear what I'm gonna wear, and inevitably that ends up being a day that like my clothes get ripped, and it's like something I care about. And it's also kind of like a safety issue, right? Like, you know, if a dog is a little bit hard to handle, even if they're incredibly sweet and nice, you know, it could pose a safety issue when they're out on walks. So I think we just need to make sure, basically I want to make sure that clients are on board with training, so just to avoid any avoidable accidents. Okay, I'm really getting hot now, so I'm gonna turn on the AC, finish my sandwich, get back to work, and start my class for today. So I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.